Hello, my name is Ashley Rayner, and I'm the branch manager for the Greater Grand Crossing branch of the Chicago Public Library. Welcome to Snacks in the Stacks, where I'm going to show you some of the great cookbooks in our collection, make some delicious food, and teach you that trying new recipes can be fun. This program is part of the 2020 One Book, One Chicago season, exploring the theme Beyond Borders and the book Exit West by Mohsin Hamid. For more information on other virtual events, blogs, recommended reading lists, and more, visit onebookonechicago.org. The cookbook I'm using today is called Indianish, Recipes and Antics from a Modern American Family by Priya Krishna. This is a beautiful cookbook with a lot of bright colors and pop art. Priya Krishna developed a lot of these recipes with her mother's help, and the family touches and stories throughout the book add so much character. There's a whole chapter on different sauces, a recipe that uses instant ramen noodles, and a dosa potato recipe without the dosa. The book is also mostly vegetarian, with 1 chicken dish and 3 fish dishes. The recipes remind me of the meals my mom would cook on weeknights, quick and tasty with deep flavors. Of course, my mom never used garam masala. If you've ever ordered aloo gobi at an Indian restaurant, this recipe should look familiar to you. Instead of frying the vegetables, Krishna roasts the aloo or potato and the gobi or cauliflower before mixing it with onions and spices. There's no sauce or gravy. She also suggests that a pinch of asafoetida is really good in the dish. It's optional though, so if you can't find it, you should still try out this recipe. So I have all my ingredients prepped. I have in here the cauliflower and the potato. I think usually when people make aloo gobi, like the potato is cut and diced into smaller pieces, but the recipe for the cookbook suggests these 2-inch sticks, so that's what I did. And I tried to cut the cauliflower so it'd be like around the same size as best I could. I have olive oil. You're going to use 3 tablespoons to toss the vegetables with before you roast them, and then another 2 to cook the rest of the stuff that you see here. I have with me some cumin seeds. This is like a teaspoon, and cumin seeds are really tasty. Like, of course, I think a lot of people have had cumin, like ground cumin, but the seeds are nice because it's going to give you some textural elements, and also they'll probably be a little bit fresher than the cumin you might have in your drawer, so it gives really nice flavor. We also have turmeric, which let me see. Without spilling it. It is definitely coloring, but it's also really tasty, really good for you. It's nice orange color. We have onion. Of course, I think the recipe calls for like 1 small onion, but I love onion, so this is probably 1 medium, but it's just a simple like medium dice. And then in this little bowl, I have a pinch of red chili powder and a pinch of asafoetida. And so I've never cooked with asafoetida, and I don't think you'll find it in a grocery store, but I ordered it online from Spice House, so I'm really excited to cook with it because I've never used it before. And here we have ginger. Ginger is one of my favorite things, so I love the taste of ginger. So it's gonna be julienne, kind of. I did my best. I think the recipe calls for like the juice of a half lime, a tablespoon of lime, but I like the brightness that lime brings, so I have a whole lime just in case. We have salt and pepper and a little bit of cilantro chopped up, stems and leaves for garnish. So now we're ready to start cooking. So the first step is to take our cut up potatoes and cauliflower and dump them on a pan. I forgot. This is like you're supposed to cover it with foil to help with cleanup, but I use one of these silicone mats. You can see mine is well used. I love mine because it really helps clean up and makes it really easy. They're not too expensive. So I'm just gonna dump some I don't know if I might have cut too much, so we'll see. When you're roasting, you really want to spread stuff out, so it's not, you want to give things space. So I don't know how much space everything will get because I have a lot of veggies here, but just get as much as I can on here. And then this one, I all the way through and break it apart. what I will do is toss it in the middle, like move everything around. This will take about 30 minutes to roast, so I'll move everything around to make sure that everything gets nice and brown. It's a lot, but it'll still taste good, I promise. So, and then after you've got everything on your pan piled up, you take 3 tablespoons of olive oil. This is when I would like to have my daughter, because she's really good at counting, especially up to 3. I'm gonna just do 3. You can do it with your hands, but I'm just gonna kind of toss it with this spoon I've got. Oil really helps. Oops. You don't have to worry about sticking so much because I've got that little silicone mat, but it's gonna help with browning and making everything nice and crispy, which is what we really want. Making a mess as usual. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna turn around and put this in the oven, and it'll cook for about 30 minutes. Like I said, I'll toss it at least once during the cooking time. So I have some oil. You can hear it popping a little bit because I put some water in it. It is shimmering. That's what we're going for. And so I've got my cumin seeds, and I'm gonna put them in here. And they're supposed to turn like a medium shade of brown. This is really not supposed to be much longer than a minute. You can hear them crackling in there. I love making this kind of stuff because the house is gonna smell amazing. So we're filming this at night, so we'll go to sleep with a delicious smell. So it goes pretty quick, and you don't want to burn them. So wait a few more minutes. You can see them already start to change color. It smells really good. Okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna swirl it. The temperature's at like a medium high right now. It's pretty warm. So now I'm gonna swirl in the turmeric. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. When I first did this, I was like, what does that mean? But it really just means swirl it in. I'll turn the heat down too. It smells so good. Alright, we're gonna add our onions. We know it's hot enough because we hear that sound. You want to hear that sizzle. That's how you know it's ready to go. And you can see, if you look in the pan, like that turmeric, look how it colors the onions. Look at that. I'm not sure there's a better smell in all of cooking. I try to get everything coated, like all the onions coated. And we're gonna let these cook. I'm gonna stir them and probably watch them too closely for about 4 or 5 minutes until they start looking a little translucent. But yeah, they're looking really good. So we've got the onion looking really good, a little translucent, even got a little bit of char on there, which I like. So we're gonna add the last of our spices. This is the chili powder and the asafoetida. The recipe says that asafoetida is optional. I wanted to try it though. But I've made it before without it and it still tastes really good. And then I'm also adding my favorite, the ginger. I love ginger. I used to eat ginger, candied ginger every year, like when I was at school. And everyone would try it and be like, oh, it's too spicy. How do you eat that? And I'm like, I don't know, it's just amazing. So we're just gonna cook for a couple more, maybe a minute, so you can really smell the ginger and the rest of the spices get fragrant. See it kind of cooking down in there. I'm scraping the bottom in case anything sticks. but we really don't have to cook it that much longer. Just to get it so it's not totally raw. So it took a little bit longer than 30 minutes, and that's probably because, like, look how I cut this too big. You can see it's real thick, but they're done now. They're nice and soft inside. So I'm gonna add this carefully, and it says specifically to get all the little brown bits, which really are the best parts. I like it roasty, toasty. And so I'm trying to edit it. I don't want to dump it all in because I could just see how that could end in tragedy on camera and also all over the floor. So I'm trying to be careful. So I'm trying to add it all in, and then, okay, maybe I can just dump this part. Is that too ambitious? I'm nervous about that. I'm gonna have to call the fire department, so. I'm a very impatient cook. Oh. But, okay, so add it all in there. This kind of makes me wish I had a bigger skillet, but we're gonna make it work. I'm gonna take it slow. So, I'm gonna mix it up carefully. We don't want to get everything smooshed. We don't want everything to break apart, so I'm trying to do it carefully so one, it doesn't get smushed, but also it doesn't get all over my stove. So we're just mixing it carefully. Oh, see, I shouldn't have said anything. Yeah, now I kind of wish maybe kind of smaller, but it's okay. It's part of the fun. But high probability of making a mess. And we want, like, so the one thing I love, you can kind of see a little bit, like, some of the color from the turmeric getting on the spices. It's not gonna be like all bright yellow, but you can see some of it. That's what you want. Okay, so I think I said in my last video, I don't really add a lot of salt to stuff. Usually stuff is already salty, but I think both cauliflower and potatoes really need it. So the recipe asks for about a teaspoon, not a tablespoon, oh my god, a teaspoon. So I'm gonna estimate that. Just do a quick sprinkle. It's probably not even a teaspoon, but I can always adjust later. That's one of the best parts of cooking, right? The tasting and adjusting. So we're gonna let this all kind of mix together and become friendly for another 4 to 5 minutes. You don't have to stir it constantly. We're just kind of trying to get everything warmed up together and mixed up. So it's cooked for about 4 to 5 minutes. It didn't need too much. So I'm gonna take it off the heat and I'm gonna hit it with this lime juice. See? You don't really want to cook the lime juice in it. It's gonna make it really bright at the end. So it's nice to have it on the end. And so now, I have a fork. I'm gonna use a fork to taste it. See if it needs any more salt or lime juice or what have you. I like really bright. I like it to be bright. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. But this is one of the important things about cooking. You want to keep trying it, making sure that it tastes how you want it to taste. So it's the recipe author's recipe, but you're the one that's got to eat it. So you should make it be however you want it to be. Okay. So it's sizzling because the pan is hot, but the heat is off. I'm gonna try a little bit more after I added my extra. Okay. It's awesome. talking with my mouth full on the internet. Sorry, Mom. Okay. And I'm gonna add a little bit of the cilantro for garnish. It's gonna look really pretty. Let me see. Oops. Not too much. Yeah. Ready? This recipe is a great way to try Indian food at home, especially if you've never done it before. All of the spices are easily accessible except for the asafoetida, and that you can order off of Amazon or from any other online spice retailer, but it's really optional, but it does taste very good in the dish. If I just have it right here in this bowl, but if I was gonna serve it, I'd probably serve it with rice or naan, which you can get frozen a lot of places, or even lentils, like dal. You can find recipes for that anywhere. But it's really great. It's really, it's even, if you're doing Meatless Monday, this is really substantial, so it would be really good, especially with the sides that I just mentioned for a Meatless Monday, or just if you're trying to have more vegetarian meals. So with that, my name is Ashley Rayner, and this has been Snacks in the Stacks.